So I see many parents bringing their kids to our martial arts school, and they want them to learn these types of skills like confidence, focus, physical and mental strength, respect, and kindness. And certainly our program has proven over and over again that it helps increase all of those skills, attitudes, and characteristics. And that's awesome. We see these kids twice a week, so maybe we see them for 2 hours a week. But really, what's happening in the other 160 some hours a week? Hello, everyone, and welcome to Off the Mat. I'm Nicole Stratichuk, and in today's episode, we're going to talk all about setting the example. So why talk about this? Well, I'm a parent, I'm a mom, and I'm doing my best to raise strong, confident, and kind-hearted young men. I have 2 boys. They just had their birthdays, so they are 9 and 4. And man, life is crazy busy with 2 boys. I'm just trying to find my way in this parenthood, right? How do I do the things to make sure that these boys grow up to be strong, confident, and kind young men. And I think we all want some version of this for our children. So if there's other parents out there, you can probably relate with some of those things, or maybe exactly the same, but maybe you've got other adjectives and things that you want for your kids. But we are all trying to do the best that we can as parents, as moms, as dads, as fathers, as mothers, right? We're all trying to do these things to make sure that our kids grow up to be the best that they can be. I want my boys to live a life full of passion, purpose, and fulfillment, right? And I want them to just experience joy and success. And so whatever that means for them, I'm really excited for them to experience that, but I know that I play a big role in that. So I see many parents bringing their kids to our martial arts school, and they want them to learn these types of skills like confidence, focus, physical and mental strength, respect, and kindness. And certainly our program has proven over and over again that it helps increase all of those skills, attitudes, and characteristics. And that's awesome. We see these kids twice a week, so maybe we see them for 2 hours a week. But really, what's happening in the other 160 some hours a week, right? I had to ask Siri how many hours in a week there are, and I think there's like 168. So if your kids are coming to martial arts for 2 hours a week, what's happening in the other 166 hours at home, right? Maybe, I know some time is going to go for school and sleeping, but they spend a lot of time in your care. So what are they learning from you? What example are you setting for your kids? Now, I have to tell you about my Amazing Moms Club because I'm going to probably refer to them a couple times as I talk to you about a few things. But my Moms Club, they are setting the example. And I know there's probably many more parents out there doing the same things that they're doing. But my Moms Club, I got to give them a shout out because they show up twice a week. And they show up for themselves. They show up, they put the work in, they put the hard work in, the physical strength, the mental strength. They're working and learning on focus and discipline and all of these things. They're setting big goals and they are taking the steps to achieve them. These moms are superheroes, and you betcha they are setting the example for their kids. So shout out to my Moms Club because they are awesome. But okay, let's look at this. So we have kids or parents come to us and they say, I want my kid to learn better focus, right? That's something that we hear all the time. And yeah, one class in at our program, you're going to see that focus is a really big point of our class, right? The kids after day 1 are already starting to learn better focus. But let's reflect here. What focus do your kids learn from you? We talk about limiting screen time for our kids, right? They only get so much time on the video games and iPads and watching TV and YouTube and all of this stuff. And certainly I do this for my own kids. But what limits are we setting for ourselves as parents, right? Are we endlessly scrolling? I know there's apps or settings on your phone now that you can set so that it stops you from doing that. That's an easy solution. But does that notification or buzz or bell that you get from your phone, is that distracting you from time with your kids? How about focusing on what goals have you set for yourself? New year, New Year's resolutions, that sort of thing. But ongoing, what goals are you setting for yourself and how focused are you staying towards those? You give power to what you focus on. And so what are you putting your time and energy into? And you see, your kids pick up on what you're focused on, right? So what are you showing them about focus at home? If our kids are talking to us, are we giving them dedicated time and attention? Are we focused on them? Do we give them our undivided attention? If not, how can we expect them to focus? How can we expect them to listen to everything that we're saying if we don't give them that focus and attention as well? How are we showing them that we control our own focus, like towards our goals? Right? Are we staying focused and taking the steps in order to reach our own goals? Our kids see that, right? So there's that reflection, asking ourselves these hard questions, how focused we are. Let's talk about physical strength, right? We might have parents that come to us and they want, I wish my kid could do a push-up or do more than one push-up or a push-up. Of course, martial arts, there's a physical aspect to it. And of course, over time, they are going to increase their strength as they come to more and more classes. And we all know the importance of being fit. And if we have good fitness and nutrition habits, if those things are there, then health issues are less prevalent, right? We could all agree on that. So what example are we setting for our kids in those aspects, right? Here's that reflection. What can we do? So can we do a more than one push-up? Can we do a push-up? And if not, that's okay. But what steps are we taking to increase our physical strength, to increase our health, to increase our nutrition habits, right? What behaviors in fitness and nutrition are we modeling at home? So reflect, are you setting the example for your kids? Did you just think, well, I'm just so busy, right? I hear that, right? We're too busy to go to the gym. We're too busy to work on ourselves. We're too busy to cook a nice meal, right? But wait, stop it. What is that attitude going to teach our kids, right? Yes, this health and fitness thing is important, but as soon as life is busy, right? Work's in the way, kids' activities are in the way, life gets busy. What are we teaching them? All we're teaching them is that, it's really important to have good health and fitness, but as soon as the first excuse of time comes up, that it's okay. Don't need to worry about it. No, we need to stop that. There are so many tools at our disposal to figure out how to eat healthy within time constraints. There's so many ways to increase our strength. We need to be better than that. We need to model these behaviors for our kids. When we talk about nutrition habits, how often are we going to ask these questions to yourself. How often are you actually grabbing fast food? How often are you throwing a frozen dinner into the oven? Right? And be truthful, be real with yourself. Because if we're trying to teach our kids how to be healthy, physically strong, mentally strong kids, how are we going to do that if the model or the behavior that we're modeling is fast, right? Fast food or quick food in the oven. Right now, don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect. There are times where dinner is Kraft dinner. Don't get me wrong. Well, I'm not 100% perfect, but I know that the behaviors that I show at home is what my kids are going to learn. What are we as parents doing to care for ourselves? What are we doing? Right? Are we showing our kids that we take steps to make sure that we are mentally strong? And there could be so many different ways to do this. But how do we take care of ourselves? How do we show up for our family? Right? What things like maybe meditation or spiritual things or faith or self-talk, how do we speak to ourselves? How do our kids see ourselves speaking to ourselves? Right? How do we show our kids the value of learning and growing and self-development, and gratitude and having the right attitude? That all comes from our mental strength, and we need to be working on it ourselves as parents. And now my mom's club, they are working on this all the time when they come in, right? There is this aspect of, physical strength and self-defense and things like that when they come to mom's club to train. But more than anything, they are getting it right mentally, right? They are taking care of themselves. They are showing up for themselves. And that's what they're showing to their kids. How about confidence? You hear this all the time. Okay, my kids, I want my kid to take your program to be more confident. Okay, awesome. Are you confident? Are you taking steps to become confident? Do you exude confidence? And I'm not talking fake confidence, right? Do you take the steps that you need to take so that you can be confident, strong, and upbeat, right? How about respect? I hear this one too. I need my kid to to learn respect. Okay, let's reflect. Think about yourself. How much respect do you have for others? And I feel like that's a pretty easy one, right? We can respect other people, but maybe we need to look deep at that too. Like, am I showing respect and kindness when I meet strangers or out at the store or out at getting groceries, letting people go in front of me in the line or being pleasant with a cashier, right? Am I respectful that way? But even more importantly, how am I showing to my kids that I have self-respect? Right? Am I showing my kids how to be kind to myself? Think about what your own beliefs about respect are. So, do you believe in yourself? Are you kind to yourself? That self-talk that you give to yourself. This kind of goes back to confidence, but are you being kind to yourself and showing awesome self-respect? That's what your kids need to see. And if we're spending too much time munching on chips and sitting on the couch and watching TV and grabbing fast food for dinner, how much self-respect is that? I think we need to be better for our kids, and we just need to do some deep reflection on some of these things. And I get it. You're going to hear all of these things and you say, but Nicole, I'm so busy. I get that. I have 2 boys. I run a business. I get all of those things. And I'm not 100% perfect, but I do make the effort and make the time to make sure that I'm modeling these certain behaviors. I want my boys to be strong, confident, independent, kind young men. So those are the behaviors that I want to exude at home, right? Those are the things that I want them to see in me. So, do I get to the gym, take care of my physical strength or my physical fitness? You bet. I figure it out. Do I do the things good for my mental health? You bet. I figure it out. I make the time for it. Nutrition, things like that. I make the time for it. I figure it out. There are so many ways to make these things happen. And things like focus. Am I giving them the focus and attention? All of these things. I know it's hard. I know it's busy, but these things are important because these are our kids and they deserve all of that. And like I said, I'm not perfect, but this is also a great thing for your kids to see is that you aren't perfect and you do make mistakes. And when I make a mistake, I get to model how to deal with it, how to handle it, how to course correct, how to revise or adjust. Right? I get to teach that to my kids to make sure that they have those skills as they go through life, right? And so I wanted to talk about this because it is our job as parents to set the example. It's important because we want all of these awesome things for our kids, but if we can't do it ourselves, what hope do we have for our kids? The second part of this is to really reflect, right? So all of these things that you want for your kids, do you have them yourself? Are you practicing yourself, right? Reflect on those different things that you want for your kids. And the third part is make a plan, course correct or revise or adjust as you need so that your kids can also see the effort that you put into making yourself better. Because that's what we want for our kids. Anyways, I hope you found something valuable today in this episode. I hope maybe it gives you some motivation or at least take some time to reflect on some of these things that you might want for your kids, but it's important for you to maybe look back and see what's happening with you, right? What are your kids learning from you? And it's great that we get our kids into activities such as martial arts, right, that are going to work on some of these things. But most importantly, what's happening with you? Because they're going to learn everything, a lot of things from you. So work on you. Awesome, you guys. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Let us know in the comments. Hopefully this has given you something of value. And any questions, let us know. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great day. We will talk to you real soon.